Representative Jordan Ridley or Paul Kettering? Who is the pro-gun champion in House District 22? Stay tuned, guys. We're breaking this race down for you right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Georgia Gun Owners. You know, if there's one thing that I despise more than the radical left, the Stacey Abrams, Michelle Au style Democrats who want to take away our gun rights here in Georgia, it is fake Republicans who tell gun owners one thing at election time and do the exact opposite once they are safely in office. And so with the May 21 primary coming very quickly, gun owners are asking us in races all over the state, who is the pro-gun champion? Because that's always the question. Everyone says they're pro-gun. Who can we trust, that's the key word, to fight, that's the other key word, for our gun rights? This video is going to be a little bit different because the factors about this race are a little bit different than most of the races that we have covered. The reason for that is that Georgia gun owners and myself personally, I know Jordan Ridley rather well. I've known him for a long time. We were involved in Jordan Ridley's campaign 2 years ago when he first ran for the Georgia House. Jordan Ridley made many, many big promises to gun owners, and he kept exactly this many of them. This video is going to be a little bit different, and I hope it serves as a wake-up call to Mr. Ridley, but more importantly, to any other politician here in Georgia who thinks they can say one thing at election time and then stab our members in the back once they are in office. Rest assured, we will never forget a betrayal. This video is an example of that. So we're talking about district number 22. It is this area right here. It's portions of Cherokee and a tiny little sliver of Cobb County. As I've mentioned, it features incumbent Representative Jordan Ridley against challenger Paul Kettering. I'm going to begin with Mr. Kettering. We gave him our candidate survey, and Mr. Kettering surveyed 100% pro-gun with Georgia gun owners. And that means he has promised in writing that he will sponsor pro-gun bills in the Georgia House. Bills like the Second Amendment Preservation Act, bills to ban red flag gun seizures, two major objectives for Georgia gun owners. Paul also said he's opposed to any attempt to repeal stand your ground law, to repeal or confiscate AR-15s, and he's 100% opposed to any attempt to register our firearms through universal background checks. All of these bills were sponsored over the last 2 years here in Atlanta. They are all active threats. And again, Paul Kettering, 100% pro-gun on his candidate survey. So if you see Mr. Kettering, be sure and thank him for proudly standing up and promising to fight for gun rights if elected to the Georgia House. And that brings us to Mr. Ridley. As I told you, GGO has known Jordan Ridley for a long time. Before he was ever sworn in, we knew Mr. Ridley. After he was sworn in, we knew Mr. Ridley. And for the last 2 years, we've had the occasion to be in the building with Jordan Ridley. Here's the bottom line. Jordan Ridley surveyed with Georgia gun owners 2 years ago. And to be honest, Jordan Ridley has surveyed with Georgia gun owners this cycle. Both times, Mr. Ridley has told our members, gun voters in his district, that he will champion gun bills, that he will sponsor or co-sponsor gun bills. But for the last 2 years, when I personally met with Mr. Ridley in his office or called him or texted him or whatever else and said, Jordan, we have the Second Amendment Preservation Act sponsored, it's filed, it's time to do your part now and co-sponsor the bill, Mr. Ridley refused to keep his campaign promise and co-sponsor the dang bill. There was two different bill numbers. One is House Bill 293, that was the bill from 2023, and this year's bill number was House Bill 1009. And so both times that he had the occasion to do his job, to keep his promise to fight for gun owners in his district, he lied, refused to do so, and smugly walked away from that campaign promise. He has refused to co-sponsor. Of course, he talks loudly about being pro-gun. It's a complete joke because Jordan really has become a complete pawn for leadership. When the Speaker of the House or the leadership team, whether it's Speaker Burns, Chuck Yefstration, or somebody else, need a guy to go out amongst the caucus and water down support for a gun bill, they send Jordan Ridley. Mr. Ridley is very young. I don't know if the guy is just not aware of the waters in which he is swimming or if he is a coldly calculating, backstabbing betrayer? I don't know, and frankly, it doesn't matter. The problem, the issue is that Jordan Ridley says one thing at election time to gun voters like you folks and does the exact opposite here in Atlanta for the last 2 years. It's worth noting, I believe, that we're not the only organization who has seen Mr. Ridley completely lie and change his tune once he's been in office. If you're involved in Republican Party conservative-leaning politics, you may know the name of organizations like Young Americans for Liberty, YAL. You may know the name the Georgia Freedom Caucus. Both YAL and the Freedom Caucus, to my knowledge, have kicked Mr. Ridley out of their organizations because he has broken all the campaign promises he made to his constituents on their issues as well. And suffice it to say, Jordan, your membership in Georgia Gun Owners is hereby revoked. You can get the heck out and be a part of some other fraudulent gun rights organization who was very happy to sing the praises of the incumbents no matter what they do. Consider yourself revoked from Georgia Gun Owners, YAL, Georgia Freedom Caucus, and frankly, the conservative voters that you lied to. That's a far bigger deal than lying to an organization like ours. Bottom line, folks, Jordan Ridley cannot be trusted. He is a complete and utter fraud when it comes to the Second Amendment. And in an era where our gun rights are under attack in ways that we frankly haven't seen in generations, we have to be very mindful as Republicans of candidates who do what Mr. Ridley has done, say one thing at election time and then stab us in the back once they're safely in office. It is because of situations like this and legislators like Mr. Ridley that we're in the situation that we're in today. We have over 100 Republicans in the Georgia House and only a handful who will fight for our gun rights. Guys, it's a real problem, and I wanted you guys to have this information so you can make the most educated choice as you decide who you believe is the pro-gun champion between Jordan Ridley and Paul Kettering. Guys, if you see Jordan, ask him, man, what happened? Why did you lie to me as a constituent? Why did you lie to Georgia gun owners? Why did you break all your campaign promises? Why wouldn't you co-sponsor the Second Amendment Preservation Act? Why has every conservative group in the state had to give you the boot? What is wrong with you? And if you see Mr. Kettering, thank Paul for standing up and surveying 100% and putting his views in writing. Guys, that's all we have for you in this race. Be sure and share this broadcast on your social media platforms. To find other race breakdowns in other parts of the state, go to our social media platforms, our YouTube channel, or our website at georgiagunowners.org. Guys, again, share the broadcast and join the fight today at joinggo.com.